What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be previewing Port Adelaide's round 9 clash against Gold Coast. It's going to be a very interesting game this Sunday, 12:40 PM at the Adelaide Oval. We're back at home this week, so make sure you get to the game. The weather isn't going to be terrific, but it could be a big game, especially for Port Adelaide, who need to get back on the winners list to get their momentum back for a big second half of the season. So, without further ado, let's get straight into this preview and see how Port Adelaide can beat the Suns this weekend. As always, we start with a bit of opposition watch coming into this week's game, and Gold Coast are currently sitting 14th on the ladder at the moment, 3 wins and 5 losses. They're not tracking too badly at the moment. They did get smashed by the Crows a couple of weeks ago though, so the opportunity is there for Port Adelaide to stand up and really take this game by the scruff of the neck. They're definitely not easy beats though. I won't be taking them lightly for sure, especially with the amount of injuries we've got at the moment, and they're tracking all right, especially when they play at home, Gold Coast. They really look like they're going to track really well. So can't be taking them too lightly this week, but it's going to be interesting, especially with Jack Hompsch and Aaron Young returning back from, since leaving Port Adelaide last year, respectively. So, and Aaron Young left at the end of 2017. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of a welcome they get back. I have no doubt they might get some boos. Jack Hompsch, though, beloved son of Port Adelaide, so he'll definitely be, I think, welcome back with open arms, because he's been sensational for Gold Coast. So someone like a Todd Marshall or a Dustin Westhoff better watch out, because he'll know the ins and outs of how they play. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And one of their best players of this year, Fiorini, is in doubt for this week. So a bit of help there, especially in the midfield, because he's been pretty good. The last time these two teams met was, in fact, round 9, 2018 in Shanghai, where Port Adelaide got the job done by 40 points in a scrappy, wet condition game of footy. It wasn't the prettiest to watch either, but we got the job done. And fittingly, it's round 9 this weekend. It's funny that round 8, we played the Crows last year. Round 9, we played Gold Coast. This year, round 8, played Showdown. Round 9, played Gold Coast. I think the AFL have done a bit of copy and paste work there for the last couple of rounds, but that's no big deal. As we go into the game notes this week, the first time these two teams met was, in fact, a Gold Coast victory at AAMI Stadium. Unfortunately, we never want to bring that up again, but Port Adelaide have won every single meeting since then, so the trend better continue. First time these two teams have met outside of Shanghai since round 23, 2017, where Gold Coast played Port Adelaide here at the Adelaide Oval. So hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Gold Coast Suns. They have not won a game at the Adelaide Oval since 2014 when it first opened. That's long time between drinks since playing at the Adelaide Oval against Port Adelaide. Obviously they played the Crows a couple of weeks ago, but not a happy hunting ground. So Port Adelaide will definitely take that into consideration. Looking at the weather this weekend, it's going to be around 18, 19 degrees, lunchtime. I think it's going to be a bit wet. They're predicting some showers, 70% chance of showers. So I don't know exactly how wet it could be. Hopefully it holds off for the game, because we know that Port Adelaide aren't the silkiest team in the competition with their skills. So neither with Gold Coast, but they can definitely make it a scrappy game. And every time they've won Gold Coast, they've only scored 59, 73 and 61 points. So Port Adelaide have to hit the scoreboard, and I think that's the only way we're going to win this week. And it's pretty simple. You've got to convert your opportunities. We're going to get lots of them. We know that. We get average about 65 inside 50s, 60 inside 50s per game. We got 69 against the Crows last week. Had the equal amount of scoring shots, and look what happened. We ended up losing by 20 points because we didn't take the chances. And we've got to be a little bit simpler when we go inside 50. Lower the eyes a bit, hit the targets. People like Carl Amon, who get a lot of the footy when bringing it inside 50, they don't hit the target, they just bomb away. And in these types of conditions, we're going to have to lower our eyes. And that's why someone like a Sam Gray, a Connor Rosie, they're going to look a little bit more dangerous, because if we do lower those eyes, we're going to be hitting those targets. And they're very good lead-up players, those two. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. But that's definitely the way you got to take this weekend's game. If it does become a scrappy affair, though, Gold Coast are in with a massive sniff. Not like they are already. They're generally a pretty competitive side when given the opportunity. And so as long as we get a fast start, we really take the game on. I don't think Gold Coast really have the scoring power to keep up with Port Adelaide. And If we are on, not to sound cocky or anything, definitely not saying that, but if we are on, then I definitely feel like we will take Gold Coast to the cleaners a bit. But if we're not on, this could be a very dangerous game. Biggest matchup for me, a lot of people say the Ruckman. I've said the Ruckman last couple of weeks when we played Grundy. We played Goldstein, and obviously last week as well we had both Lysette and right up against O'Brien. But this week, I've gone for something a little bit different. It's going to be Swallow versus Boak, the two captains for this weekend's game. It's going to be a head-to-head type of thing. And I really feel like Boak has averaged really high numbers, but hasn't had as much of an impact on the game since against North Melbourne. So he'll be looking at really trying to take the game on a bit more, have a bit more impact around the contest and hit up some targets. And if he does that, he'll be best on ground this week because he's by far our best player of the year so far. And Swallow definitely hasn't been a downbeat either. He's definitely had 35 disposals last week as well. He's just, that workhorse that gets the footy, contested ball, and he really fights hard. So definitely something, a little bit of a competition to watch out for between those two. And lastly, I wanted to just touch on Dougal Howard. Does he play forward this week? Gold Coast don't have the greatest of defences. They'll have Jack Comps down there, but they're not really well-known name players. So essentially, if we can exploit them with a Dougal Howard, with a Todd Marshall, or bring in a Billy Frampton, that's really going to put the pressure back on them. And straight away, they're going to feel the heat. And they will definitely not go down lightly. But if you're putting that pressure on constantly, they will break. The other thing as well is Gray. Robbie Gray's half a chance to play this week. And I know this is Wednesday, and we won't know selection really the best 22 till Friday. But if he gets named tomorrow night, he's going to play. They're giving him a real chance to play this week. He's ahead of schedule. He's looking really good on the track. This was his first week full training. And he's really half a chance. And if Robbie Gray does play, that's an extra option. In those conditions, I can't see us losing. And if that's the case, Robbie Gray might kick a bag of 5 straight away. Obviously, it will depend on his hand and stuff like that. But if Robbie Gray plays, Port Adelaide's odds really they lower even further. Looking at selection, though, I can't really see too much changing. I know a lot of people will say, well, this guy, chop them all out. When you got injuries, you really want to keep the consistency of the team, because if you keep chopping and changing, you're not going to have that gelling of a team and not really, synthesizing when they're playing the game plan and stuff like that. So only the 2 changes for me this week. Burton is obviously the big one with his hamstring, so he's out for a month. I can see a Butters coming back because we have Broadbent in the side now, so he could fill that halfback spot. You can really bring in some aggression, and Butters had his rest, so I really feel he'll come back into the team. That could be a Robbie Gray position as well if Robbie does get up. I'm putting Robbie Gray in the if he's fit, he'll play category. But for me, Johnson's the other one that has to go out. There was no reason whatsoever to play him last week, and Butters had to cough up his spot for that. And I'm playing Billy Frampton. The bloke deserves a go. # free Billy. With those changes, I'm going with Port by 23 as a prediction for this week. I can't see us losing. I feel, the way our form's been, we'll bounce back this week, back at home. So make sure you get to the game. It's going to be a pretty entertaining day. Kids get in free, so make sure you bring down the family after the footy in the morning and really enjoy your day out, even though the conditions might be questionable. It's still a great atmosphere and a great time. You never deny a chance to go down to Adelaide Oval when you've got some free time. So make sure you get there. But I think Port will win, and hopefully they win comfortably, because I'm not going through a nail biter like we've had been in the past. Thank you so much for watching this preview, Port fans. Comment below what you think will happen this weekend and your predictions for the game. Gold Coast won't be taken lightly at all, but I think we'll get the job done. So hopefully we do. And if Robbie Gray plays, hopefully he kicks a bag of 5. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide content coming your way on a weekly basis. My name's Anthony, Port fans and any other AFL fans watching. And as always, calm the pair.